In this episode of Star Trek Attack Wing Tactical Table, we'll be talking about the U.S.S. Hathaway. So here's a nice little ship. It's a nice little blue painted ship. And here's its card. U.S.S. Hathaway, Constellation Class. 3143. So for 22 points, a decent medium-sized ship. The reason why it makes the Hathaway playable is during the activation phase, you may perform a second action from your action bar as a free action, and you place an auxiliary power token beside your ship. That is not a bad action at all, bad ability at all. So it basically gives you two actions, and it's got the 4 green maneuvers to clear it out the next turn. It's got all the one banks, 1 forward and 2 straight ahead. And that's really not a big deal. It may not be very maneuverable in that way, but it does have a 180-degree front firing arc, which kind of makes up for those limited green maneuvers. And it's also 4 hull, which means you take it with as a capital ship for a fighter or shuttle. A decent upgrade bar and a tech, a weapon, and 2 crew. So overall, for 22 points, it's a darn good little ship. And it's actually quite an amazing ship. Let me get right down to it. So, nice thing about 22 points is it gives you a lot of points to work with for upgrades. So, first thing we talk about is which captain do you want? Of course, you could use Picard or Spock to get that another free action, giving you up to 3 actions per turn. But I think there's a better option for this particular ship, and this is Ahab Picard from the Enterprise E. So what he allows you to do is you pick a faction, and against that faction, you add +1 defense dice, so now you're bumped up to 2, and you set one of your attack dice. You don't get an additional dice, you just set one of them to a crit. And you can also add 1 upgrade slot to your ship of any kind, which again helps this guy out even more by adding yet another slot. So now basically you're running 2 defense dice against your chosen faction, which is there nothing to complain about at all. And that it's always guaranteed in at least 1 crit on each attack. Very good. So let's try and buff up its defense a little bit. So the first thing we're going to add to it with its tech slot is going to be Unimatrix shielding from the Delta Flyer. And just because it gives you +2 shields. So now you're basically running a 3-2-4-5 ship. So definitely adds quite a bit of punch to your ship. Quite a bit of survivability to your ship. And the other thing to add in for even more survivability is going to be Hathaway, the Wharf from the Hathaway itself. This is an absolutely amazing card. When defending, you may disable this card. If you do so, the attacking ship rolls 1 fewer attack die and cannot spend its battle station or target lock to modify its dice roll. And your ship may still roll its full defense dice in spite of the presence of any scan tokens. Absolutely amazing. For 5 points and only a discard. So you use your ship's action to re-enable them, and then you get your second free action as well. So again, Hathaway Wharf is an amazing card. So now we're going to get into some cards that aren't retail cards. So this is going to really make a difference. The first one is the Type 8 Phaser Array, which comes on the prize ship, the U.S.S. Hood, and you also have the alternate, which is the upgraded phasers from the Lakota, or you could technically run both. So the Type 8 Phaser Array gives you +1 attack die for 2 points, so it's basically just 1 stat. So now you're running 4, 2, 4, 5 with that extra ability. Then we're going to duplicate the tech slot again with the system upgrade giving you +1 shield. Now you're up to 6 shields. That's with 4 hull. That's 10 damage to get through. Now this is one that is right. This is also the Hood Riker, which gives you +1 defense dice. But you could also easily replace this with Tom Paris and still fit in 50 points. So now we're at 3, 3, 4, 6. And we're at 45 points. With 2 actions, guaranteed crit every attack, 3 extra dice. Very, very tough little ship. And my preferred last upgrade is going to be the multi-adaptive shields from the U.S.S. Raven prize ship. Which gives you yet +1 more defense dice. And again, also full defense dice against mines and full defense dice against scans. So now we're talking a 4-4-4-6 ship with the abilities to, with the dual actions, with the attack cancellation or attack nerfing with Worf, and the converting a free battle stations conversion on William T. Riker. Again, you could run Paris instead and be exactly at 50 points. This is 49 points. So the Hathaway, I think, is one of my favorite ships in this game, with that extra ability, a decent maneuver dial of having 2 white turns. The 3 turns are still red, but the two hard turns are white, which gives you an incredible amount of maneuverability combined with the 180-degree front firing arc. So a hard 2 with the 180 gives you an incredible amount of coverage for each maneuver. If you really want to add in something like a protocol resource where you can target lock and then double battle stations, or target lock and double evade every turn, is definitely nothing to complain about. So if you go without the prize cards, Joe, you definitely want the Hathaway. That. You're gonna need some. You are gonna need some bump up in power. So maybe a torpedo, because straight attacks is just not gonna cut it, even with the guaranteed crit. So you might want to get torpedoes on here in your weapon slot. I would go with the other shield upgrade, also available for Delta Flyer. That's 3 points. And again, using Paris as for your second crew slot is how you fill it out for non-prize cards. It's not quite as good, but it will get the job done. So again, Hathaway, absolutely love this little ship. Very, very good. For 50 points, gives you a lot of options, a lot of good hitting power, good defense, and extra actions for basically what is no penalty. No real penalty anyway, especially with a ship like this. With it, the 180-degree arc makes all the difference in the world for that ability. So, what do you think about the U.S.S. Hathaway? And let me know in the comments below. And thanks for watching.